night, the Olean Oilers are proud to recognize two service members. These two service members will join Oilers president Matthew Bederko at the pitcher's mound to throw out tonight's honorary first pitches. First, the Oilers are proud to welcome Petty Officer First Class Jessica Knapp. Knapp joined the United States Navy in 2016, beginning her military career at Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes, Illinois. Following boot camp, she attended A School in Gulfport, Mississippi, with a rate of BU Navy Builder, a combat-ready construction specialist trained to build, repair, and support missions anywhere in the world. She then completed expeditionary combat school, preparing her to serve in challenging environments around the globe. Petty Officer First Class Knapp proudly deployed overseas with Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 11 and 133. She is currently stationed in Gulfport, Mississippi, attached to Naval Construction Battalion 14. As a Navy Seabee, Petty Officer First Class Knapp is part of a highly skilled force whose motto is, "We build, we fight." Seabees are the Navy's construction professionals, building critical infrastructure around the world while also serving as combat-ready warfighters whenever duty calls. Please join the Oilers in welcoming Petty Officer First Class Jessica Knapp. The Olean Oilers are also proud to welcome Sergeant Terry Vaughn, a 12-year Army veteran. Vaughn has served overseas in Kuwait, Korea, as well as 3 tours in Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Vaughn currently serves as the commander of the Olean VFW Post 1619, as well as District 6 of New York VFW Junior Vice Commander. Vaughn and the Olean VFW Post 1619 have also been instrumental in helping raise funds for this year's 4th of July fireworks at Bradner Stadium. Please join the Oilers in welcoming Sergeant Terry Vaughn. All right, Petty Officer First Class Knapp and Sergeant Vaughn, let's see what you got. Lineups. First for the visiting Jamestown Tarp Skunks. In right field, number 44, Nate Muncy. The catcher, number 32, Keith Fetchit. Shortstop, number 15, James Dixon. First base, number 30, Dom Costello. In left field, number 11, Anthony Trommer. On third base, number 38, Caleb Jordan. Second baseman, number 7, Jackson Enders. The designated hitter, number 19, Joaquin Rodriguez Costa. The extra hitter, number 18, Sean Spitaleri. The center fielder, number 39, C.J. Dugan. And starting on the mound for the Tarp Skunks, number 12, Tate Johnson. The Tarp Skunks are managed by Joe Riedebach. And now, let's meet your Olean Oilers. Brought to you by Callahan Vending. Need a vending service? Look no further. Callahan Vending is here for your needs and is located right here in Olean. The third baseman from Mercyhurst, number 23, Derek Stout. The second baseman from John Carroll, number 20, Thomas Bates. The extra hitter from DeSales, number 22, Brian Fleming. The designated hitter from Delaware, number 26, Aiden Willard. The left fielder from William and Mary, number 34, Cooper Tarley. The first baseman from Millersville, number 8, Christo Hunsicker. The catcher from Gannon, number 31, Brady Smith. The right fielder from Canisius, number 5, Matt. Let's go, Buffalo. The shortstop from Stonehill, number 2, Armani Romero. The center fielder from Delaware, number 30, Brent Fournier. And starting on the mound for the Oilers from Alfred State, number 50, Daniel Lewis. The Oilers are managed by Mike Threehouse. Assistant coaches are John Dry, Eric Hemphill, PJ Salerno, and Jake Meeker. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor our nation and those that protect and serve it to ensure our continued freedom, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your hats for the performance of the national anthem. Joining the Oilers on the field are active and retired service members. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
For the second time in 3 days, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks travel east down I-86 to take on the Olean Oilers on a warm, muggy night at Bradner Stadium. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Volz, and welcome to this broadcast of Olean Oilers baseball. The Oilers looking to avenge their loss to Jamestown on Tuesday night and get themselves back closer to 500. They come into play tonight at 10-12 overall in 5th place in the West Division. They've had a little bit of a midseason slump, having lost 7 of their last 10. The Jamestown Tarp Skunks, meanwhile, are coming off of a loss last night, but are still right behind the Batavia Muck Dogs in the West Division, with Jamestown sitting in 2nd place. On the mound for the Oilers tonight is the right-hander Daniel Lewis, going into his senior year at Alfred State, a native of Montour Falls, New York. Daniel's making his first start as an Oiler. He pitched 4 2/3 in a relief appearance earlier this season and pitched pretty well, a 3.86 ERA, allowing 2 earned runs, 4 total runs. and Lewis will go toe-to-toe with the rival Jamestown Tarp Skunks batters. Oilers in their 4th of July commemorative Stars and Stripes uniforms, of course, ahead of the big weekend that is yet to come. First pitch of the game from Daniel Lewis is low, and we are underway at 7:17. A little bit of a later start than we were anticipating. Start of the game delayed by about 45 minutes. Usually these games start around 6:30. Delayed a little bit as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. It's Nate Muncy at the plate. This game, again, set back about 45 minutes as the temperatures have been very high in the southern tier the last few days, right about 88 degrees, and it's been warmer throughout the day. The 1-2 pitch to Muncy just misses. Nate Muncy, the left-handed hitting right fielder, wears number 44, no relation to Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers that we know of. 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit on the ground. Thomas Bates scoops it at second, throws on to first in time for the first out of the ball game. We'll take a look at the batting order for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks after Nate Muncy. The catcher Heath Fetchick will bat in the 2 spot. James Dixon bats 3rd. Dom Costello in the cleanup spot. Anthony Trommer will come to the plate 5th. Caleb Jordan 6th. Jackson Enders will bat 7th. Joaquin Rodriguez Costa is the DH. He'll bat 8th. Sean Spitaleri, the EH, will bat in the 9 spot. And CJ Dugan will bat 10th. First pitch to the catcher, Heath Fetchick, is a called strike. Fetchick was behind the plate for Jamestown on Tuesday night as well. 0-1 pitch swung on and got a piece of it. Again, right around 88 degrees, and it has been warmer than that throughout the day. We've been in the low 90s for the last few days, trying to avoid some of the heat tonight. 0-2 pitch is hit on the ground to 3rd. That one stared by Derek Stout, and he'll throw out the runner Heath Fetchick for out number 2. Oilers infield defense getting some early action, and we'll take a look at how the Oilers align defensively behind Daniel Lewis. It's Brady Smith behind the plate, Christo Hunsaker at first, Thomas Bates at second, Derek Stout at third, and Armanis Romero is at short. Oilers outfield, Cooper Tarley in left field, Grant Fournier in center, and Matt Buffalo is in right. First pitch to James Dixon is up high for a ball. Again, the Oilers looking to turn their luck around against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks this year. They've had a rough go of it against their rivals from Chautauqua County as the 1-0 pitch is hit into shallow center field. That's going to drop in front of Buffalo for a base hit. First hit of the game and a 2-out single for the shortstop, James Dixon. So the inning continues for the first baseman, Dom Costello. Oilers fell behind early in the game on Tuesday and ultimately were not able to rally back, losing that game 8-4. Oilers made a run at it at the end, though. At one point, they had trailed 7-1. First pitch to Costello is inside and low. Dom Costello, the first baseman for Jamestown tonight. Dom comes in batting .333. Has not played a whole lot for Jamestown. 1-0 pitch from the right-hander Lewis. Big swing and comes up empty. Strike one. This is only the 7th game of the season for Dom Costello, the 6th game he's started. But is still putting up excellent numbers as Costello hits this one on the ground. Bates has got it. He'll flip to second for the force, and the Oilers get out of the inning. So a 2-out single off the bat of James Dixon does not come back to haunt Daniel Lewis. He works his way through the first inning with no damage done on the scoreboard. Oilers lineup coming to bat in the home half of the first. No score at Bradner Stadium. Oiler lineup coming to bat for the first time tonight, home half of the first, and they'll go up against the right-hander for Jamestown, Tate Johnson. Leadoff hitter for the Oilers is Derek Stout, who of course has hit the ball very well and has been an RBI machine for Olean. He takes the first pitch low for a ball. Tate Johnson making his 6th start of the season, ERA about 7.4. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, ball 2. Opponents batting .290 off of Tate Johnson. Averaging a little over 3 innings per start, too, so he'll want to get that increased a bit more and go further into games as the 2-0 pitch is fouled back. Derek Stout leading off for the Oilers, the third baseman from Jackson, Ohio, going into his sophomore year at Mercyhurst. 2-1 pitch to him, skips in the dirt, and heads back to the backstop. So Derek quickly ahead 3-1. Derek batting .350 on the year, leads the team with 24 RBIs. Next closest to that mark is Thomas Bates and Cooper Tarley, who are tied with 9 each. 3-1 pitch is high, ball 4, and Stout draws a leadoff walk. So we'll take a look at the rest of the Oilers' batting order. After Stout, Thomas Bates will bat in the 2 spot. Brian Fleming bats 3rd. He's the EH. Aiden Willard is the DH. He'll bat 4th. Cooper Tarley bats in the 5 spot. Christo Hunsaker will come to the plate 6th. Brady Smith 7th. Matt Buffalo 8th. Armanis Romero 9th. And Grant Fournier will bat in the 10 spot. Derek is 2 for 3 on stolen base attempts this year. We'll see if he thinks about going. Yes, he does. Bates swings at it and hits it on the ground to 3rd. There's only going to be one play, and the play is made to 1st for the out. So a productive out off the bat of Bates, advancing Derek Stout to 2nd, 1 down. So the EH, Brian Fleming, will bat, 2nd-year Oiler, left-handed bat. Brian is from Rehoboth, Delaware, a junior at DeSales. Stout wandering well off the second base bag as Fleming takes the first pitch down low. Oiler fans in attendance certainly wouldn't mind if the sun would hurry up and set with how warm it's been. Brian Fleming batting .359 on the year for the Oilers. 1-0 pitch to him, swung on and chopped foul. Brian was a mainstay in right field for the Oilers last year, and he's kind of bounced back and forth between that and the DH/EH role. He is the EH for the Oilers tonight. And he's got an RBI chance with Derek Stout aboard at 2nd and 1 out in the bottom of the 1st. 1-1 pitch to him from Tate Johnson. Big swing and a miss. Derek Stout is wandering quite a bit off that second base bag. We'll take a look at the Tarp Skunks defense after the 1-2 pitch incoming to Brian Fleming. Johnson takes a look at Stout behind him. The 1-2 pitch, high, ball 2. Heath Fetchick is the man behind the plate for the Tarp Skunks, as he was on Tuesday here at Bradner Stadium. Dom Costello is at first, Jackson Enders at 2nd, Caleb Jordan at 3rd, and James Dixon is the shortstop. Two balls and 2 strikes to Fleming, and the pitch is low, ball 3. Looking at the outfield for Jamestown, Anthony Traumer is in left, C.J. Dugan in center, and Nate Muncy is in right. A lot of room in that right center gap for Brian Fleming on a 3-2 pitch. Incoming from Tate Johnson. Fleming swings and flies this one down the left field line, but that'll go out of play over top of the Jamestown dugout. Again, as mentioned, the Tarp Skunks sitting in second place in the West Division, a game behind the Batavia Muck Dogs. Oilers trying to make up some ground and get themselves closer to the 500 mark. 3-2 pitch to Fleming, swung on and hit deep in the air toward right center field. That one going back, that is down off the base of the wall. Stout rounding third, he's going to score easily. Fleming on his way to third. The throw is not going to be in time. It's an RBI triple for Brian Fleming, and the Oilers strike first. First hit of the game, a triple for Brian Fleming to drive in a run. Again, the gap in right center field, and that one perfectly between Dugan and Muncy. Muncy did his best to get to it. It's an RBI triple off the bat of Brian Fleming to drive in the game's first run, and now Aiden Willard with a chance to double Olean's lead. 8th run driven in by Brian Fleming this year, his first triple of the season. First pitch to Aiden Willard, skipped in the dirt, kept in front by Fetchick. That's going to be crucially important if the Oilers are going to have runners in scoring position, as Fetchick keeping the play in front of him behind the plate. Aiden Willard is the DH. He's driven in 7 on the year, .294 average. 1-0 pitch to him, big swing and a miss. Aiden is a native of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, going into his freshman year at Delaware. Trying to get Brian Fleming home from third to add to the Olean lead. 1-1 pitch, outside, ball 2. Brian Fleming has scored 11 runs on the season. He would love to have number 12 right here. 2-1 pitch to Willard, chopped foul. Oilers really have not had a problem getting runners on this season. They have been excellent at the plate, have drawn a lot of walks. They've also been hit by 42 pitches collectively as a team. They've drawn 135 walks. And the 2-2 pitch gets Willard, strike 3. Aiden thought that one was a little bit high. Ultimately, it's the first strikeout of the game. And a big out number 2 as it keeps Fleming staying put over at third. Now it'll be up to Cooper Tarley. Again, we normally see Cooper in right field. He is in left tonight. Native of Waban, Massachusetts. Sophomore at William and Mary, where he plays both in the outfield and behind the plate. Cooper batting .265, and he's driven in 9 runs. Tied with Thomas Bates for the second most on the team. Tarley hits this one on the ground. Diving stop at third by Jordan. Throw to first is not going to be in time, and the throw is going to go wide. Tarley's going to head for second base. The throw into second, not in time. That'll be an RBI infield singer for Tarley, and it's 2-0 Oilers. A great stop by Caleb Jordan, but the throw a little bit wide, and the throw allowing Caleb Jordan to advance. So Oilers up 2-0, bottom of the first. And Cooper Tarley at second. Christo Hunsaker at the plate. First pitch to Hunsaker, low, ball 1. So it's an infield RBI single for Cooper Tarley, and then the errant throw allows him to get into scoring position. Tenth run driven in by Tarley this season. 1-0 pitch is taken high and inside. Tarley a short lead off of second. Of course, don't expect him to go, but he's got speed, and now he's going to take off for third, and the throw is going to be well in time. That was an interesting decision by Tarley. Just as soon as I'd said, don't expect him to go, Tarley takes off for third, and no reason to do that, and he's caught stealing to end the first inning. But an RBI triple off the bat of Brian Fleming drives in a run, and an infield hit for Cooper Tarley drives in another. After one at Bradner Stadium, Oilers lead the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 2-0. Top of the second inning, and the first pitch of the inning is sent up the middle for a base hit off the bat of Anthony Trommer. So Trommer picks up Jamestown's second hit, attacking on the first pitch from Daniel Lewis. Lewis threw a scoreless first inning, allowed a two-out single to James Dixon, but ultimately no further damage done there. Anthony Trommer had a 3.08 average, and this one pulled on the ground. Bates, it hops up in the air, but is able to field it and throw on to first. A great recovery to get the out at first, one down. That's a tough play, but Thomas Bates able to settle it down. It just popped up. But Bates settles it down and throws out Caleb Jordan for out number one. Anthony Trommer heads for second. First two batters at the top of the second attacking on the first pitch. We'll see if Jackson Enders does the same. Anthony Trommer has stolen 7 bases this year, so he's a speedster. Got to be aware of that. And first pitch swinging again, but Enders fouls it off. Jackson Enders has played in 16 games, this being his 17th and his 11th start, batting just .179 for them. But an RBI chance to cut it to the Oilers' lead. 0-1 pitch to him is a called strike. So Daniel finds himself ahead of the right-hander Enders. It's a pretty short lead off of second for Anthony Trommer. Now widens the gap. The 0-2 pitch skips in the dirt, rolls away, and Trommer heads for third. The throw from Brady Smith is a good one, but not quite in time. So Trommer heads over to third on the pitch in the dirt. And now a potential sacrifice situation for Enders. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lewis gives a look at Brady Smith, and the 1-2 pitch swung on and hit on the ground, snared at third, and the throw on to first from Derek Stout is in time. That's a big second out, as that doesn't allow the runner at third, Anthony Trommer, to go anywhere. And Stout looked off the runner before making the throw onto first. A smart play. That's a couple of big groundouts. That one especially. And now the DH, Joaquin Rodriguez Costa, comes to the plate with a man at third and 2 outs. Rodriguez Costa batting .250. He's been a consistent starter at first base for Jamestown. First pitch to him is swung on and fouled away. Rodriguez Costa bats left-handed and wears number 19. He is the DH tonight, although he has played quite a bit at first base. Lewis stands in. The 0-1 pitch is just off the plate, ball one. Now, fortunately, weather-wise, the temperature is supposed to drop as the game goes on, but noticeably drop. That was not the case on Tuesday. The temperature did decline, of course, but not as much as the fans in attendance were hoping it would. Should be right around 80 degrees in an hour or so as Rodriguez Costa lifts this one in the air to deep left center field, but Grant Fournier gets to it, and the Oilers strand a runner at third. Another runner on base, but it doesn't matter. Daniel Lewis has 2 shutout innings. We're going to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Olean. Christo Hunsaker will lead things off for the Oilers in the bottom of the second. He was at the plate when Cooper Tarley went for third with 2 outs and was caught stealing easily. Again, not really sure what led to the decision for Tarley to head for third. Hunsaker swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. It'll be Hunsaker followed by Brady Smith and Matt Buffalo. Christo, a native of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, going into his sophomore year at Millersville. Oh, 1 pitch from Tate Johnson is a called strike. Oilers put up 2 runs in the home half of the first, thanks in large part to an RBI triple off the bat of Brian Fleming. That drove in Derek Stout. And then Fleming got a ride home on an infield hit from Cooper Tarley. That pitch is low, and Hunsaker able to check the swing to stay alive. It was Brian Fleming's 8th run driven in this year. Cooper Tarley's 10th on the infield hit. The 1-2 pitch just misses, ball 2. Gutsy, close take for Hunsaker, and it works out. Christo on the year batting .231. He's driven in 7. getting on base about 45% of the time. 2-2 pitch swung on and chopped foul. And another first-year Oiler who has really earned his spot in the field. He's been very good at first. The tandem of him and Denny Martin have both been excellent at that spot. 2-2 pitch. Hunsaker swings and gets a piece of it to stay alive in the at-bat. Two hits for each team. Hunsaker stepping back into the batter's box. Johnson into the windup, and the 2-2 pitch. Strike three called. He freezes Hunsaker. Second strikeout of the night so far for Tate Johnson, both looking. So the catcher, Brady Smith, will bat for the first time this evening. Brady from the land down under, native of Fulham, Australia, going into his junior year, catching for Gannon down in Erie. .242 average. Brady takes a big swing and comes up empty. Now, the one thing missing for the Oilers this year has been the power hitting. They've only hit 3 home runs on the season. However, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled back, the Oilers pitching in that same vein has also done an excellent job at not surrendering home runs. Oilers have only given up 2 home runs on the season. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He swings and misses it 3 straight. And Brady Smith is set down. Back-to-back Ks for Johnson. He's got 3 on the night. And Matt Buffalo will come to the plate. Buffalo, the native of Pine Bush, New York, going into a redshirt sophomore year at Canisius. Not only a utility infielder, but also a pitcher for Canisius. He gets a start in right field tonight. Buffalo swings and misses at the first one. He's one of those guys, one of those utility players that are really ideal for managers to have. You can play Matt Buffalo at so many different positions and have him be comfortable there as the 0-1 pitch plunks him. And the cardinal sin of pitching comes back. You don't ever want to hit a batter with 2 outs as Buffalo reaches base. I suppose that maybe not the ultimate cardinal sin of pitching. It would be slightly worse is when you get an 0-2 2-out pitch and a batter gets hit, which we have seen a couple times both happen to Oiler hitters and be committed by Oiler pitchers. But the Oilers have a 2-out base runner, and Armanis Romero will bat. Romero takes the first pitch in the dirt. Buffalo scampering off that first base bag and wisely heads back into first. Not one you want to take a chance on there. Heath Fetchick has a great arm behind the plate. Armanis, a native of Roxbury, Massachusetts, a sophomore at Stonehill. Teammate of Braden Rader and Denny Martin at Stonehill. Romero swings and misses at the first pitch. Armanis has been a very good contact hitter for the Oilers this year, batting .381. That's the best average on the team. This is 10th game of the year. Romero takes strike 2 that backs him up off the plate. Trying to extend the inning to Grant Fournier, center fielder, who is on deck. One-two pitch in the dirt. Buffalo takes off for second. Throw to second is not in time. Buffalo has the stolen base. So another runner in scoring position. Stolen base number 2 on the year for Matt Buffalo. He's now 2 for 3. And a 2-2 pitch upcoming to Armanis Romero. Romero's driven in 7 on the year. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. 3 strikeouts in the inning, and the hit by pitch, the only other outcome is the Oilers get 1 on base. Not able to do anything with it. 3 strikeouts in the inning and 4 on the night for Tate Johnson. We're headed to the 3rd inning at Bradner Stadium. Oilers lead the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 2-0. We're in the top of the 3rd inning here at Bradner Stadium. Oilers leading the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 2-0. As the EH, Sean Spitaleri swings at the first pitch and grounds it right to Christo Hunsaker, who will make the play at first for the out. Boy, a lot of first pitch swinging for the Tarp Skunks, and they do have 2 hits, with one of those coming on the first pitch. We saw that a lot last inning. First pitch swinging pretty much every single batter. So the center fielder C.J. Dugan up now. He takes the first pitch low and inside, low and away rather, for a ball. In that last half inning, 3 strikeouts for Tate Johnson with a hit by pitch sandwiched in between there. Now 1-1 on the center fielder Dugan. Dugan batting .205, getting on base right around 40% of the time. The 1-1 pitch is high and inside. So far tonight for Daniel Lewis, he's had, in both innings, has had 1 base runner. Did not allow him to come home to score. 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled away. Lewis looking to establish his spot in the Oilers' rotation. Trying to get just a bit more consistency from their pitching game. 2-2 pitch, low and away, ball 3. So a full count to Dugan. The 3-2 pitch, low, ball 4, and a 1-out walk. So Dugan reaches base. Jamestown has their 3rd base runner of the night. And we'll go back to the top of the order. Nate Muncy comes to the plate. Muncy grounded out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Again, Dugan not necessarily the fastest runner. He is 2 for 4 in stolen base attempts this year. First pitch to Muncy, low, kept in front by Brady Smith. People in Western New York are going to have to get used to rooting for somebody by the name of Brady. 1-0 pitch, swung on and hit on the ground. Could be 2. Flipped to second for 1. On to first for 2. A double play, well turned. 6-4-3 by the Oilers' infield defense. And once again, 1 gets on. No further damage done. We are headed to the bottom of the third at Bradner Stadium. Oilers up 2-0. Home half of the third, the 10-1-2 hitters due up for the Oilers. Grant Fournier will lead things off. Fournier takes the first pitch in the dirt, ball one. It'll be Fournier followed by Derek Stout and Thomas Bates. Oilers up 2-0, looking to add on to that lead against Tate Johnson. 1-0 pitch is inside, ball two. Now Johnson, despite giving up the 2 runs, has picked up 4 strikeouts in the game, including 3 last inning. 2-0 pitch to Fournier, skips in the dirt. That one a heater coming in low, and Grant finds himself ahead 3-0. Again, looking at Tate Johnson's season numbers, this is his 6th start of the year. ERA of around 7.4, so he's wanting to get that down a little bit more. The 3-0 pitch catches his own, strike one. Looking at the strikeout to walk ratio, it is in his favor. Coming into tonight, 8 walks, 10 strikeouts. Is that one hit on the ground? That will be bobbled at second, and Fournier is going to be safe at first. That one bobbled at second by Jackson Enders. That would have been a really tough play. So score that one, an infield hit, a leadoff infield hit for Grant Fournier. And the leadoff man is on. Second time in the game the Oilers have said that. The last time it was this man, Derek Stout, at the plate. Stout walked and scored back in the first inning. He scored on the Brian Fleming RBI triple. See if Fournier takes off for second. Jamestown definitely thinking that, as he'll scamper back in to the bag at first. Fournier has stolen 3 bases on the year. 3 out of 4 in stolen base attempts. Johnson into the windup, and the pitch is a strike. Oilers really looking to gain some consistency and make up some ground in the PGCBL. They've fallen to 2 games back of 500. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is low, check swing, and Stout did not go, ball one. Oilers just ahead of the Niagara Ironbacks at 10-13, right behind the 11-9 Elmira Pioneers. Short lead at first for Fournier. They'll check on him at first. He's back in safely. The dominant stretch has continued for the Amsterdam Mohawks in the East Division. A 24-1 record. 20 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie. 9-0-1 in their last 10. 1-1 pitch is low, ball 2. They are 6 games ahead of the Saugerties Stallions, who are having an excellent season of their own at 13-9. 2-1 to Stout. The pitch from Johnson swung on and hit out to deep left. That may get over his head, and it will. It's over Anthony Trommer's head. And stopping at third is Fournier. It's a double for Derek Stout, and the Oilers have their 4th hit of the game. Back-to-back hits, 2 extra base hits in the game, and still nobody out. Derek Stout on base for the 2nd time. A wise decision to hold Fournier. That one just over the head of Anthony Trommer and all the way to the wall. Not a whole lot of action going on around the PGCBL tonight. A couple of games were postponed. A few teams have nights off. We'll keep you posted regardless, though. Thomas Bates is at the plate. He's 0 for 1, grounded out back in the first, trying to drive some runs in. First pitch to him is a called strike. Bates has driven in 9 on the year. Third most on the team, of course, Derek Stout with 24, and Cooper Tarley drove in his 10th of the year earlier in the game. 0-1 pitch to him is swung on and popped up foul. That'll go out of play. Looking at some of the other games across the league, top of the 5th in Elmira, the Auburn Doubledays and Elmira Pioneers are tied at 2. Top of the 2nd inning in Amsterdam, a little bit of a surprise. The Amsterdam Mohawks and Utica Blue Sox tied at 3. 0-2 to Bates is hit on the ground. That will get through for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes Stout. The throw to the plate will not get in time. Bates is going to take off for second. The throw down to second is going to get him. Bates is out trying to head for second, but it's still a 2-run single for him, and the Oilers have a 4-0 lead. 5th hit of the game. But ultimately, Bates thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. So score that, a single for Bates. And out on the throw. Fournier and Stout both score. Ultimately, Bates also making the first out of the inning. First pitch to Brian Fleming is a called strike. Of course, Fleming showing off his power with an RBI triple to the right center field wall in the first inning. That one swung on and hit foul. Oilers have opened up a 4-0 lead, and early runs have been something that against Jamestown have eluded the Oilers. It's really gone the other way around for the Oilers quite a bit. 0-1 to Fleming is swung on and hit on a line, but caught by the second baseman Jackson Enders for out number 2. Second out of the inning, and the DH, Aiden Willard, will come to the plate. Willard 0 for 1. He struck out looking back in the first inning. Struck out looking on a 2-2 pitch. He's up with the bases empty and 2 outs. First one to him is taken high for a ball. We'll have to check on Bates. It was a little bit of an awkward slide into the second base bag. A great throw from Heath Fetchick to get him. 1-0 pitch catches the down and in corner of the zone for a strike. Bates was able to get up and run off no problem, so looks like he's all right. Just a bit of an awkward slide. 1-1 pitch is a called strike on the inside corner. So Tate Johnson working very quickly in this inning. And a 1-2 pitch to Willard. That skips in the dirt and heads back to the backstop. So Willard gives it a look. He'll get another shot at 2-2. Johnson into the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Just misses high, ball 3. Well, that did not miss by much. But Willard's did a nice job of going deep into counts. The Oilers have done that. Jamestown has kind of been the opposite. They've been a lot of first pitch swinging. 3-2 pitch, high, ball 4, and a 2-out walk. So the Oilers extend the bottom of the third inning and bring up Cooper Tarley. Tarley reached on an infield single. Drove in a run with that. Got to second on a throwing error by the Tarp Skunks shortstop James Dixon. Was thrown out trying to steal third with 2 outs. Willard with a short lead off of first. First one to Tarley inside, and that hits him. Again, a 2-out hit by pitch. Second one we've seen in as many innings. And the Oilers have 2 on for Christo Hunsaker. Just trying to add on to this lead. That is the 5th time Cooper Tarley has been hit by a pitch this season. So now Christo Hunsaker at the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking back in the second. Oilers as a team have now been plunked 44 times collectively. Johnson steps off the mound. Aiden Willard is 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts this year. Of course, you know Cooper Tarley, how great he is. 13 of 16 overall, 0 for 1 tonight. First pitch to Hunsaker, swung on and chopped foul. One other score update in the PGCBL, bottom of the 4th in Mohawk Valley. And the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs trail the Socrates Stallions 7-4. 0-1 pitch to Hunsaker, swung on and hit down the right field line. That will go foul. So Christo finding himself behind at 0-2. Again, the big 4th of July weekend coming up for the Oilers. They will be at home on Saturday afternoon to take on an old friend from the NYCBL as the Dansville Gliders come to town. Then a doubleheader on Sunday as the Newark Pilots head to Bradner Stadium. 0-2 pitch to Hunsaker. That skips in the dirt. Both runners will advance as Fetchick couldn't find it. And both runners able to move up on that pitch in the dirt. So Aiden Willard going to third, Cooper Tarley to second, and Hunsaker could really break this game wide open. With a hit here, you got to figure with the speed of Tarley at second, any sort of base hit likely gets 2 home. The 1-2 pitch to Hunsaker. That one swung on and chopped on the ground to short. Long throw on to first is in time, and Hunsaker is set down. 2 left on, but the Oilers bring 2 more home to score on a 2-run single off the bat of the second baseman, Thomas Bates. We are through 3 at Bradner Stadium. Oilers have doubled their lead. They lead the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 4-0. Heath Fetchick leading off for Jamestown in the top of the fourth, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. Oilers lead this game 4-0. And Daniel Lewis trying to have another shutout inning. The 1-0 pitch hits Fetchick. So the leadoff man is put on. First time Lewis has hit anybody with a pitch in the game. Fetchick is on base for the first time after he grounded out back in the first. And it'll bring James Dixon to the plate. James Dixon batting just 182, singled back in the first. Fetchick takes a few steps towards the second base bag as Dixon takes the first pitch low for a ball. Well, Fetchick being a catcher, certainly would not expect him to steal, although it may come as a surprise. He has 8 stolen bases on the year. That's not common for a catcher. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. As a team, this shows why Jamestown's been as successful as they have been. As a team, Jamestown has stolen 104 bases. 104 stolen bases in 115 attempts. They've only allowed 29 steals on the year. 1-1 pitch is a called strike. Of course, make that 30 now with a steal for Matt Buffalo earlier in the game. They've allowed 30 steals on 46 attempts against them. 1 ball and 2 strikes to James Dixon, and the pitch from Lewis swung on and hit in the air toward right. Ranging back is Matt Buffalo. He'll reach up and make the catch for the first out of the fourth. So Dom Costello comes to the plate. Costello ended the top half of the inning in the first with a ground out fielder's choice, getting the force at first with James Dixon out. Well, Daniel Lewis would love another ground ball double play. Got one of those last inning. First pitch here to Costello was a called strike. Six-4-3 double play last time. Pitches above. Fetchick's going. Throw down to second. Not in time. And Heath Fetchick has his 9th stolen base of the season. Fetchick is a perfect 9 for 9 in stolen base attempts. It's pretty rare to see that kind of speed from a catcher. But every once in a while you do get it. 1-1 pitch from Lewis, swung on and hit down the left field line. That'll go foul right over by the Jamestown bullpen. So the chance of the double play, not as easy to get, still absolutely possible, but 1-2 pitch, low. Dom Costello batting .333. Again, talked about earlier, he has not played much for Jamestown. This only his 7th game of the season. He's driven in 4 runs, though, so he's been very effective in limited time. 2-2 from Lewis. Swing, and that one popped up out of play down the third base side. Haven't seen a whole lot of Jamestown batters going deep into counts. Again, there's been a lot of first pitch swinging. A lot of first pitch putting the ball in play, too, especially in that second inning. Fetchick dancing off the second base bag. 2-2 pitch from Lewis. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Costello chased a pitch that was low and a big out, number 2. First strikeout of the night for Daniel Lewis. Again, this Lewis's first start as an Oiler. He had pitched 4 2/3 in relief earlier this year and had struck out 4 in that span. So he's got strikeout stuff. Now Anthony Trommer at the plate. First pitch to him is skipped in the dirt, ball 1. Traumer led off the second inning with a single on the first pitch he saw, and he was left stranded over at third. 1-0 pitch to him is inside. That goes back to the backstop. Fetchik will head for third and stop there. So 2-0, but ultimately, if you can get Traumer not concerned with Fetchik at third, with there being 2 outs, no sacrifice situation, of course, so don't even worry about the base runner behind you. Just focus on getting this guy out if you're Daniel Lewis. 2-0 pitch on its way. That's a sweeping strike at the bottom of the zone. Of course, easier said than done to put the runners on base behind you out of your mind. But Lewis has done a good job of it. Jamestown's had a few base runners. Done a good job of straining him so far. 2-1 pitch, low ball 3. Caleb Jordan on deck if Traumer can find his way on. And a 3-1 from Daniel Lewis. That's inside, ball 4 and a 2-out walk. Not necessarily the end of the world if you can get Caleb Jordan, though. Jordan swung at the first pitch he saw in the second and grounded out. Lewis would love that outcome again. Looking at Jamestown this season, the big reason for their success has been the fact that they have been pretty much unquestionably the best road team in the PGCBL this year. Runner takes off, that one hit on the ground, past Bates, a base hit. A run will score. Heading for third is Traumer. He will stop there. It's an RBI single for Caleb Jordan, and Jamestown is on the board. Third hit of the game. And again, first pitch swinging for Caleb Jordan as he drives in the run. And going first to third is Anthony Traumer. Caleb Jordan driving in his 18th run of the season. So now it's Jackson Enders. He grounded out back in the second. First pitch to him from Lewis is low, ball 1. Jamestown is 16-7 overall. They'd like to improve their record at home. They're just 5-5 at home, but 11-2 away from home this year. The 1-0 pitch swung on and chopped foul. And again, that success away from home is really going to make them a dangerous team come late July and early August when we get into the playoffs if Jamestown does have to go on the road. Lewis gives an odd 1-1 pitch, swung on and chopped foul. A lot of times you see that with young teams really regardless of the sport. I mean, hockey fans will know this with the Sabres a couple of years ago, even, and maybe even to a certain extent this year. Sometimes young teams tend to play better on the road than they do at home. And sounds kind of crazy, but when you think about it, there's fewer distractions on the road. You're just solely focused on getting a win and getting the heck out of there. You can kind of tune everything out a little bit easier and just play your game sometimes. 1-2 pitch, swung on and sent foul. With that being said, of course, home field advantage is always nice, and the Oilers have had that in the past in NYCBL playoff years. Back in the days of the NYCBL, when the Oilers were in it, both championships were won at home. 1-2 pitch, chopped on the ground. Charging is the third baseman, Stout. Throw to first, a little bit wide, but Hunsaker keeps his foot on the bag for out number 3. Lewis strands 2, an RBI single brings 1 home, but we're going to the bottom of the 4th. Oilers still lead Jamestown 4-1. Brady Smith leading off for the Oilers in the bottom of the fourth. He'll be followed by Matt Buffalo and Armanis Romero. Brady is 0 for 1, struck out back in the second, swinging and missing at all three pitches he saw. Oh, 1 pitch on its way from Tate Johnson. That one high, ball one. Of course, this weekend brings an annual Oilers tradition with the 4th of July afternoon home game and the fireworks at Bradner Stadium. 1 pitch swung on and missed. And a non-league game this year on the 4th is an old West Division rival from the NYCBL. The Dansville Gliders will be coming to town. 1-2 pitch to Brady is swung on and fouled back. Oilers have a lot of home baseball this weekend, of course, with the doubleheader on Sunday against Newark. Looking to pick up some wins against a team that has struggled this year. 1-2 pitch to Brady Smith is swung on and fouled back. He'll see Matt Buffalo and Armanis Romero up in this inning as well. Oilers trying to add on to a 4-1 lead. 1-2 pitch from Johnson. Inside, nearly got a piece of him. Just barely missed the Oiler catcher, and it's 2-2. Brady batting .242 on the year. 2-2 pitch to him is swung on and popped up in foul territory. Who wants this one? It will be caught by the catcher, Heath Fetchick, for the out. Fetchick reaching back and making the grab for out number 1. Matt Buffalo coming to the plate. Buffalo was hit by a pitch back in the second inning and stole second base, was ultimately left stranded there. Oilers out hitting Jamestown 5-3 in the game. First pitch to Buffalo skips in the dirt. And the hit by pitch score is 2-1 in favor of the Oilers. 1-0 to Buffalo. Oof, nearly 3-1 there as the pitch is high and inside, ball 2. Buffalo had to duck out of the way of it. .2-0 pitch. That's inside. Buffalo has to back up out of the way. Buffalo, of course, was one of the 2 batters to be hit from the Oilers as Cooper Tarley was hit last inning. The 3-0 pitch to Buffalo. Strike called. Not a bad take. So Buffalo stands in. The 3-1 pitch from Tate Johnson. Swing and a miss. That one tied him up. And from 3-0 to a full count. Buffalo trying to stay in it and really make Tate Johnson work. The 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4, and Buffalo draws a walk. He's on base for the second time. Buffalo earned that a very good, lengthy at-bat. And now the shortstop, Armanis Romero, is due up. Romero struck out back in the second inning. Coming into the game, batting .381. He's been a phenomenal contact hitter for Olean. Buffalo stole a base earlier in the game. We'll see if he thinks about going again. First pitch to Romero is low for a ball. Our Romero swings and hits that one on a line to short. It's caught. And the snap throw back down to first, not in time. Buffalo back in safely, but a line out off the bat of Romero is out number 2. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. And the center fielder, Grant Fournier, due up now. Fournier led off the bottom of the third with a single and came around to score on an infield hit from Thomas Bates. We'll see what he can do with Matt Buffalo on at first. And 2 down in the home half of the fourth. First pitch to him from Tate Johnson. Inside, snap throw back down to first. Buffalo just gets back in safely. Grant came into play batting an even .300. That's gone up with the hit. 1-0 pitch. That skipped in the dirt. Buffalo's going to take off for second. And there's not even going to be a throw from Fetchick. Buffalo snags second base. So Buffalo in scoring position for the second time. And a 2-0 pitch incoming to Grant Fournier. Buffalo creeping off the second base bag. 2-0 pitch to Fournier. That's a strike called at the top of the zone. Again, with the stolen bases, you know Buffalo has good speed. Dancing around that second base bag. 2-1 pitch is swung on and hit on the ground. That'll get through a diving Enders at second. Coming home to score is Matthew Buffalo. It's an RBI single for Fournier. He's 2 for 2, and the Oilers lead 5-1. A 2-out RBI single, and they get the run back that they surrendered in the top half of this inning. Grant Fournier batting in the 10 spot, 2 for 2 tonight. 6th hit of the game for the Oilers, and of course Grant Fournier always a threat to steal. We're back to the top of the order with Derek Stout. Derek's had a very good night at the plate. First pitch to him is a called strike. In the game, Derek Stout walked and scored back in the first, doubled and scored in the third. They'll check on the runner Fournier at first. He's back in safely. Relatively short lead off of first for Fournier. And they'll check on him at first, and they picked him off. Fournier wandered just a little bit too far off the bag, and he gets picked off at first to end the fourth inning. But an RBI single from Grant Fournier brings home Matt Buffalo. They get the run back. We're going to the fifth inning at Bradner Stadium. Oilers up 5-1. Top of the fifth inning, first pitch to Joaquin Rodriguez Costa is a check swing, and he went around for a strike. 0-1 pitch skips in the dirt and heads back to the backstop. Joaquin Rodriguez Costa, known as JRC to the Jamestown faithful. 1-1 pitch from Lewis. Big swing and a miss on a pitch that was down low. Rodriguez Costa is 0 for 1, flew out back in the second. And the 1-2 pitch, low and away, ball 2. Righty-lefty matchup, Lewis working quickly. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, he struck him out. Second strikeout for Daniel Lewis. Rodriguez Costa is 0 for 2. So the EH, Sean Spitaleri, will bat. He swung at the first pitch he saw back in the third and grounded out to Christo Hunsaker at first. Lewis getting the sign from Brady Smith. First pitch to Spitaleri is low for a ball. Sean Spitaleri playing in just his third game for the Tarp Skunks. The 1-0 pitch lifted in the air toward deep left center field. Going back is Tarley reaching up. He can't make the catch. It's off the base of the wall. Spitaleri into second standing up with a 1-out double. Fourth hit of the night for Jamestown. They've had somebody on base in all 5 innings. First extra base hit of the night for Jamestown. And it's C.J. Dugan at the plate. Dugan walked back in the third inning and was left on. Spitaleri has not attempted a stolen base yet this year. Dugan swings and fouls that one back. C.J. Dugan again looking to get the batting numbers up a little bit more, batting .205 coming into play, getting on base around 40% of the time, and the OBP has gone up with the walk earlier. 0-1 pitch to him. Floats in just a bit high, ball 1. Lewis trying to have the same faith that he had in the first 3 innings as Dugan fouls that one off. Even the 4th inning, Jamestown had a few runners on and only 1 run surrendered. And if he can get 2 more outs, work his way through this 5th inning, he'd be in line for the win if the Oilers can hang on. 1-2 pitch is in the dirt. That's going to roll back to the backstop, and Spitaleri will head for third. So now a potential sacrifice situation in play for C.J. Dugan. Certainly got to be careful about any pitches coming in low, trying to get him to chase down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch from Lewis. That one hit on the ground to short. Romero's got it. He'll throw to first in time for out number 2. Run does score. It's a sacrifice RBI, and Jamestown cuts into the Olean lead. It's 5-2. So C.J. Dugan with a sacrifice ground out gets the RBI. It is out number 2, but Spitaleri comes home to score, and now Nate Muncy up for the 3rd time, and he takes the first pitch for a called strike. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled away, so Muncy behind 0-2. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first and grounded into a double play in the third. For C.J. Dugan, that is his 6th run driven in of the season. Both the Oilers and Tarp Skunks getting production from the 10-spot batters in their lineup. Dugan for Jamestown and Grant Fournier for Olean. 0-2 pitch from Lewis is low, ball 1 to Muncy. And ironically, both Fournier and Dugan, the starting center fielders for their teams tonight as well. Lewis into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch to Muncy. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a pitch that was low. So Lewis picks up his second strikeout of the inning, does concede 1 run, but we are halfway through 9 innings. Jamestown gets the run back, but they still trail the Oilers 5-2. Home half of the 5th, and the Oilers bringing the top of the order to the plate. Derek Stout was at the plate in the bottom of the 4th when Grant Fournier was picked off at first base. So he'll get another shot here, and again, it's been a very productive night on the mound. A new arm on the mound for the Tarp Skunks. It's the left-hander Joseph Santos, and the first pitch is low, ball 1 to Derek Stout. Well, looking at the line on Santos, he's been very good. This is his 10th appearance out of the bullpen for Jamestown. 1-0 pitch lifted high in the air towards center. C.J. Dugan is there, and Dugan will make the catch for the out. So Stout retired for the first time in the game, and that'll bring up Thomas Bates. Bates grounded out in the first, brought home 2 runs with a single in the third. Was thrown out trying to stretch that single into a double. Bates picking up RBIs number 10 and 11 on the year with that base hit back in the third. Santos comes in pitching with an ERA of 2.7. First pitch to Thomas Bates is outside. They've had a couple of really good lefties between Chase Barron, Jack Santee, who we saw the other night, and Joseph Santos. 1-0 pitch, low, ball 2. Santos has pitched 16 2/3 innings. Opponents batting .273 off of him. 2-0 pitch to Bates, swung on and fouled back. Santos has walked 9 and struck out 16 in that time frame, so he's been pretty good out of the bullpen for the Tarp Skunks. 2-1 pitch to Bates. That's a strike called on the inside corner. Brian Fleming waiting on deck. He's 1 for 2 in the game. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. That one inside and backs Bates up off the plate. Has to duck to get out of the way of that, and the count goes full to the Oilers' second baseman. The 3-2 pitch to Bates. Swung on and hit down the line and right. That's going to get down for a base hit. Bates will hold up at first. Now he's going to head to second with a bobble and right. And the throw is not going to be in time. So Bates is able to reach, give him a single, and then stretching that into a double. 7th hit of the night for the Oilers, and they've got one in scoring position. So a single, and Bates was going to stop at first, but the bobble out in right by Nate Muncy allowed him to get to second. So a single and an E9, and the first pitch is cut on and missed by Brian Fleming. Second error committed by the Tarp Skunks in the game. Fleming drove in a run with a triple back in the first. He'd love to do that again. Oh, 1 pitch to Fleming. Low. 1-1 Fleming laying off of that. Brian, of course, tripled. Brought in Derek Stout in the bottom of the first and then scored himself on an infield hit from Cooper Tarley. Lined out in the third. 1-1 pitch to him is swung on and hit foul the other way. One ball and 2 strikes as, again, Bates a solid runner, not necessarily a burner out at second base, but has some good speed and would likely be able to score on a base hit. Santos looks behind him. The 1-2 pitch to Fleming. Swung on and hit off of himself. And so that's going to be a foul from Fleming. Fouled that one off of himself. Which certainly never feels good, but would probably feel worse if it was about 70 degrees colder than it is. Temperature has dropped to about 84. It was right around 90 when we started this game at 7:15, about an hour and a half ago. 1-2 pitch to Fleming. Swung on and hit on the ground. Right back to the mound. Santos bobbles. He'll throw to first. High throw. And a great play over at first by Dom Costello. Costello able to leap in the air and do the splits to get that left foot back down. Boy, saving an error. Really nice play by Costello for out number 2. Bates does advance to third, but there are 2 outs. So a ground out off the bat of Brian Fleming. And now Aiden Willard, the DH, trying to see if he can't get a base hit and drive in Bates from third. First pitch to him from Santos is fouled away. Aiden Willard struck out looking back in the first, walked in the third. Santos gives a look at Heath Fetchick. Lefty-lefty matchup, 0-1 pitch to Willard outside. This is where Heath Fetchick has to be really solid behind the plate. Anything back to the backstop, and Bates is coming home. 1-1 pitch is a called strike. The 1-2 pitch to Willard. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, the Oilers leave Thomas Bates stranded at third. We'll make our way to the 6th at Bradner Stadium. Still, Oilers leading Jamestown 5-2. Top of the sixth inning here in Olean. Oilers leading the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 5-2. I'm Matt Volz. Daniel Lewis on the mound for another inning of work, and the first pitch to the catcher Heath Fetchick is high for a ball. Fetchick grounded out in the first, was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored in the fourth. 1-0 pitch is a strike. It'll be Fetchick followed by James Dixon and Dom Costello. 1-1 pitch from Daniel Lewis, swing and a foul. Lewis has had some traffic on the base paths in all 5 innings so far, but has only surrendered just the 1 run as Fetchick hits this one off the end of the bat on the infield and a soft pop to Thomas Bates for out number 1. Leadoff man in the 6th set down by Lewis, and it brings up the shortstop, James Dixon. Dixon singled in the first, flew out in the 4th. Dixon, right-handed hitting shortstop. First pitch to him from Lewis is swung on and hit toward right. That's down for a base hit. Getting there is Buffalo, and right, he'll cut it off and throw back to the infield to hold Dixon to a single. His second hit of the night and the 5th of the game for Jamestown. So again, traffic in every inning, but Daniel Lewis has been able to work around it. We'll see if he can do the same here. Dom Costello coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Ground out in the first and a strikeout in the 4th. Dixon dancing around first. First pitch to Costello is a high strike. Dixon has not attempted a stolen base this year. 0-1 pitch from Lewis. That's a strike. Daniel getting himself ahead of Dom Costello. It's a short lead off of first for Dixon. 0-2 from Lewis is in the dirt, kept in front by Brady Smith. Dixon faked a break towards second. Ultimately heads back to first. So Lewis ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left-handed hitting first baseman Dom Costello. 1-2 pitch is popped up in foul territory. That'll go out of play. So Oilers trying to hold the shortstop James Dixon at first base. The 3-2 pitch, or the 1-2 pitch rather, just misses. Ball 2. And one that did not miss by much, so 2-2 to the left-handed hitting Costello, and the pitch from Lewis, that's in the dirt. Count will go full. So from 1-2 to 3-2, and Lewis has got to be careful. The 3-2 pitch with the runner going. That's low, ball 4, and Costello draws the walk. That's a tough break to lose Costello there. So 2 on and 1 out in the 6th for Anthony Trommer, the left fielder. And Trommer's had a very good game on the mound. Singled in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and now we're going to have a meeting on the mound, and it looks like that is going to be it for Daniel Lewis. So Lewis pitches 5 1/3, 2 runners on, but if the Oilers can hold on, Lewis would be in line to get the win. It's the right-hander Bryson Huar coming in to pitch for the Oilers, and as Huar completes his warm-up tosses, we'll step aside. Oilers up 5-2. right, top six. Bryson Huar is in the game with 2 runners on. A base hit from James Dixon and a walk from Dom Costello brings Anthony Trommer to the plate. First pitch to Trommer, hit on the ground, right to Hunsaker. Throw to second is going to get away from Thomas Bates. A run will score. Costello's going to head to third. And a costly throwing error from Hunsaker after making the play and fielding it cleanly. Just a costly error, and a run will come home to score. So runners at the corners, and a run comes in to score. And now the tying run is at first. Trommer reaches on the throwing error by Hunsaker. A great job to knock the ball down, but ultimately throwing it away. So now Huar has to be really careful against the left-handed hitting Caleb Jordan. Runner goes, pitches a strike, throw to second will be cut off by Bates. So Trommer has a stolen base. And the Tarp Skunks have the tying run in scoring position. Don't want to see this get away after a really good outing from Daniel Lewis. 8th stolen base of the year for Trommer. 0-1 pitch to Costello misses, or to Jordan rather, misses outside. Jordan grounded out back in the second, drove in a run with a single in the fourth. Huar takes a look behind him, and the 1-1 pitch. Check swing, he went around, strike 2. Huar steps back on the mound. Again, he's been very good out of the bullpen for the Oilers this year. This is his 7th relief appearance of the season. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and just got a piece of it to stay alive. Jamestown, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. Oilers, 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. And Bryson Huar definitely not out of the woods. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He rings up Caleb Jordan for out number 2. That one just swept at the bottom of the zone. And Jordan is set down for the second time in the game. First strikeout for Bryson Huar. So Jackson Enders steps to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. And the second baseman Enders bats with runners at second and third, who are trying to get out of a tough spot here. First pitch to him is a called strike. Huar gives an extended look at his catcher, Brady Smith. Taking a look behind him, the pitch from Huar. Swung on and hit on the ground. Thomas Bates backs up. He's got that. And the throw on to first is in time for the out. So a run does come home to score for Jamestown, but that's it. Runners stranded in scoring position. We're going to the bottom of the 6th at Bradner Stadium. Oilers hanging on to a 5-3 lead. 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for the Oilers in the bottom of the 6th. Cooper Tarley will lead things off, followed by Christo Hunsaker, and then Brady Smith. Oilers hanging on to a 5-3 lead. Joseph Santos out there for another inning of work. First pitch to Tarley is taken low for a ball. Cooper's been on base both times he's come to the plate tonight. Drove in a run with an infield single, advanced to second on an E6. That was back in the first inning and was hit by a pitch in the third. 1-0 pitch to Tarley is a bit low, ball 2, and some fireworks over in foul territory off the left field side. Probably not visible on your television screens. Plenty of those to come this weekend, of course. 2-0 pitch to Tarley, swung on and fouled back. Tarley stands back in. Of course, the big thing with Cooper is, he's got the speed to not only hit it on the ground and get on, but a threat is that one's roped to left for a base hit. That one drops right in front of Anthony Traumer. And Tarley has his second hit of the game. He's been on base all 3 times. 8th hit of the night for Olean. That'll bring Christo Hunsaker to the plate, and I'd be willing to bet that Cooper Tarley might be taking off for second base at some point in this plate appearance. He was thrown out trying to steal third with 2 outs earlier in the game. Stealing definitely will be tougher against a lefty, but Tarley's got the speed to do it. First pitch to Hunsaker is low for a ball. Hunsaker 0 for 2, struck out in the second, grounded out in the third. Relatively short lead off of first for Tarley. 1-0 pitch to Hunsaker, low, ball 2. Both catchers really have done a nice job in the game. Fetchick for Jamestown and Smith for Olean. Both been very steady and solid behind the plate. 2-0 pitch to Hunsaker, low, ball 3. That one just a little bit north of the dirt. And Christo finds himself in command big time. Again, not a particularly big lead off of first for Cooper Tarley. 3-0 pitch. That one is a ball, and that's going to roll all the way. Tarley taking off for second, and he would have been there anyways. It's a 4-pitch walk to Christo Hunsaker, and the Oilers have 2 on in the bottom of the 6th with nobody out. So the catcher, Brady Smith, will bat in a big spot here with 2 on and nobody out. And again, you've got great speed at second. This is where, again, Heath Fetchick's job behind the plate becomes all the more important. Anything back to the backstop, and Tarley's headed for third, no question. That kind of speed, always a threat on the base paths. First pitch to Brady Smith. He squares to bunt. Pitch is low. Certainly not a bad idea to have him bunt. But 5 straight have missed the strike zone from Santos. One-0 pitch. Brady squares to bunt. Pitch is a strike. He pulled the bat back. Brady 0 for 2, struck out in the second, popped out in the fourth. Cooper Tarley, the runner at second. Christo Hunsaker, the man at first. Santos looks behind him. 1-1 pitch with the runner going. Smith drops down a bunt. It's a good one. Back to the mound, and only one play. It's the throw to first in time. A picture-perfect bunt for Brady Smith. Does his job and moves the runners up for Matt Buffalo. So a sacrifice bunt. It is the inning's first out, but it moves the runners up. Tarley at third, Hunsaker at second now, and big RBI chance for Matt Buffalo. He's been on base twice in the game. First pitch to Buffalo, low, ball one. Buffalo was hit by a pitch in the second inning, stole a base as well, walked and scored in the fourth. The 1-0 pitch to him from Santos is swung on and fouled away. Armanis Romero waiting on deck. He is 0 for 2. And a big spot for Buffalo, of course. 1-1 pitch, high, ball two. Joseph Santos trying to avoid this becoming a long inning as we're now past the 9 o'clock hour here in the bottom of the sixth. 2-1 pitch to Buffalo. That one swung on and fouled away. Hartley at third, Hunsaker at second, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Buffalo. And the pitch from Santos, a swing, and that one hit towards center, but caught on a line. Quick throw back to second is in time. It's a double play. That one hit right on a line to the second baseman, Enders, and Hunsaker is caught trying to get back. So an inning that started with the first 2 getting on base results in no runs for the Oilers. We are through 6 at Bradner Stadium. Oilers still leading Jamestown 5-3. Top of the 7th inning, Oilers leading the Jamestown Tarp Skunks 5-3 on Matt Volz. Another inning of work for Bryson Huar. On the mound, the first pitch to Joaquin Rodriguez Costas, hit down the line and left, a base hit. Again, first pitch swinging for Jamestown, and he's rewarded with the 6th hit of the game. Rodriguez Costa on base for the first time tonight. That's how we start the 7th inning. That'll bring the EH Sean Spitaleri. Spitaleri grounded out on the first pitch he saw back in the 3rd inning, then doubled in the 5th and came around to score. And we're going to have a meeting on the mound, and that's going to be it for Bryson Huar. He's going to head off. The Oilers are going to bring in a left-hander. It's going to be Jackson Ross, the St. Bonaventure Bonnie. He will come in to pitch as the third pitcher of the game for the Oilers, and he'll step into a spot with Spitaleri at the plate, and the Oilers clinging to a 2-run lead in the 7th inning as Jackson Ross continues his warm-up pitches. We'll step aside. Oilers up 5-3. So Jackson Ross on the mound here in the top of the 7th with a runner on behind him. Ross, a junior from Salamanca, going into his junior year at St. Bonaventure. Short lead at first for Rodriguez Costa. First pitch to Sean Spitaleri is low for a ball. Spitaleri trying to get on base for the second time in the game. 1-0 pitch from Ross. That comes in low. Ball 2. Got to be careful here. Do not let this inning get out of hand for Ross. He is the third pitcher used by the Oilers tonight. Ross making his 6th appearance. He started 3 games. 0-2 win-loss record. Opponents batting .297 off him. The 2-0 pitch just misses. Ball 3. Again, we see the struggles sometimes of pitchers coming in cold from the bullpen. Of course, in theory, impossible to be cold on a night like this, but metaphorically cold as the 3-0 pitch is inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Spitaleri. 2 on, and the tying run is on base. First 4 pitches from Jackson Ross all missed the strike zone. So trying to get himself back into it. And C.J. Dugan, the 10-spot hitter, batting. Dugan walked in the 3rd, drove in a run with an RBI ground out back in the 5th. Infield playing in. Dugan squares the bunt, drops it down. It rolls past Ross. That's a great bunt. Flip to 3rd is just barely not in time. That was as close to a perfect bunt as you can possibly have for C.J. Dugan. It's an infield hit, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So Nate Muncy coming to the plate with the bases loaded, nobody out, no place to put him. Muncy 0 for 3, ground out in the 1st, grounded into a double play in the 3rd, and struck out in the 5th. First one to Muncy, low, ball 1. Ross with some significant struggles here in this inning after coming in relief of Bryson Huar. Lefty-lefty matchup in theory favors him. That one to Muncy is a called strike. Ross just trying to get himself through this inning. Infield playing in. 1-1 pitch is skipped in the dirt, kept in front beautifully by Brady Smith. 2-1 again. Anything hit on the ground, that throw's going home. If the Oilers have a chance to turn 2, though, that possibly could come into play. Now they're going to have a meeting on the mound with Ross. Just has not found that strike zone, has not found the control that he's needed to since coming into the game. The bases are loaded with nobody out in the top of the 7th, and the Oilers lead potentially hanging in the balance. After Olean had a 4-run lead at multiple points in the game, led this game 5-1 at the end of the 4th inning. And so Ross is going to stay out there after a brief meeting, and hope is that he can figure out a way to get through this inning without giving up the lead. 2 balls and a strike to the leadoff man, Nate Muncy. The 2-1 from Ross. That skips in the dirt and goes all the way back to the backstop. And Rodriguez Costa will score. So the lead now just 1 as a run comes in to score, and it's a 3-1 pitch. Everyone else advances now 2nd and 3rd. Still nobody out in this top of the 7th inning in what is turning into a lengthy top of the 7th inning. 3-1 pitch, low and inside, ball 4, bases are loaded again. The first 4 have all reached in the 7th inning. A leadoff base hit surrendered to Joaquin Rodriguez Costa. Bryson Huar was pulled. He's given up a walk, a bunt single, and another walk. So Heath Fetchick at the plate with the bases loaded and nobody out. Only down by 1. First pitch is low in the dirt. Ross has got to find the zone. Fetchick grounded out in the first, was hit by a pitch and scored in the 4th. Popped out in the 6th. He's ahead 1-0 on the other left-hander Ross. 1-0 pitch, low again, ball 2. Everything is missing low. It's not a matter of, missing all over the place. It's consistently low. Everything just sailing in at the bottom of the zone. And I think that's going to be it for Jackson Ross. Well, I think they're going to make a pitching change. You got to get Ross out of there. Just a really, really rough relief appearance for Ross, and getting some encouragement from his teammates, but still just a rough outing and some support from the crowd. So Luis Areola is going to come into the game in a very precarious spot with the bases loaded and nobody out, and a 2-0 count to Heath Fetchick. Oilers hanging on to a 1-run lead. Areola trying to come in and put out the fire. We'll step aside as he completes his warm-up tosses. All right, here we go. Luis Arriola coming into the game in about as tough of a spot as you possibly could have. The bases are loaded with nobody out, and he inherits a 2-0 count on Heath Fetchick. This is a incredibly difficult situation. Sean Spitaleri is the runner at third, CJ Dugan at second, Nate Muncy at first, and now Brady Smith going out to have a conversation with Arriola before he begins throwing. Luis is a native of Waukegan, Illinois, going into his junior year at John Carroll University. He's a teammate of Thomas Bates there. This is just his third appearance for the Oilers, and he was a very solid presence in the bullpen last year for Olean. Opponents batting .294 off of him. 4 total innings of work, an ERA of 11.25. 2-0 pitch. That comes in low. That's what we saw with pretty much all of Jackson Ross's pitches, just sailing in low of the strike zone every time. 3-0 from Arriola. That's a strike called on the inside corner. Very tough one, understandable one to lay off of by Fetchick. And a good pitch by Arriola. Luis takes a look over at third. The 3-1 pitch. Low, ball 4, and the game is tied. The bases loaded walk, although only 2 of the 4 balls were thrown by Arriola. So Fetchick drives in a run. So Spitaleri comes home to score. And the tough part about that is after the excellent game pitched by Daniel Lewis, he will end up with a no decision in the game. First pitch to James Dixon is a called strike. Still bases loaded, nobody out for Jamestown. 0-1 as Arriola tries to do his best he can to get out of it somehow. The 0-1 pitch, low, ball 1. James Dixon singled in the first, flew out in the fourth. Singled and scored in the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Arriola. That's a strike. Has been a very, very long top of the 7th inning. And it's been a top of the 7th inning where the Oilers have seen their once 4-run lead evaporate. 1-2 the count on Dixon. The pitch from Arriola. That one low, kept in front by Brady Smith, but it's ball 2. Arriola has to be incredibly careful. Anything back to the backstop, and the Oilers will find themselves trailing. Also don't want to throw anything right down the heart of the plate either. 2-2 pitch. That skips in the dirt. Count goes full. Really can't afford to walk in another run. Infield playing in. Anything on the ground is going home. The 3-2 from Arriola. Foul back. Dixon will get another shot. Bases loaded, nobody out. A 3-2 pitch. This is a huge pitch incoming to the shortstop, James Dixon. Arriola has the sign. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and hit into center field. That will be caught by Fournier for the out. And a Cannon of a throw home is cut off. No attempt to go by Dugan. That is a massive, massive first out. A shallow fly out off of Dixon's bat and nobody able to score. So Don Costello comes to the plate, and Oilers infield defense has turned one double play so far. If they can turn a second one here, Oilers could somehow work their way out of this inning without going behind. First pitch to Costello, big swing and a miss. Costello grounded out in the first, struck out in the fourth, walked in the sixth. Arriola looks over at third. The 0-1 pitch just misses. Barely misses that time. Anthony Trommer waiting on deck, and the Oilers haven't been able to get him out tonight. He's been on base all 3 times. Here comes the 1-1 from Arriola. That one skips in the dirt. That's going to roll all the way back to the backstop, and Jamestown takes the lead. So the wild pitch that you could not afford comes in, and the Tarp Skunks have rallied back to take a 6-5 lead in the 7th. C.J. Dugan comes home to score the 3rd Jamestown run of the inning, and everybody else moves up. Two balls and a strike. The pitch from Arriola. That one swung on and hit on the ground. That's going to get through for a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll hold Fetchick at third. It's an RBI single on. So a 5-run inning for Jamestown has propelled them to an 8-5 lead. They came into the inning trailing 5-3. And that one is hit towards center. That will get down for a base hit. Holding up at second is Costello. It's a base hit for Caleb Jordan, the 9th of the game for Jamestown, and the inning continues. Caleb Jordan's 2nd hit of the game. And Jackson Enders coming in with 2 on and 2 out. Enders is 0 for 3 with 3 ground outs. Everybody's gotten a chance to hit in the inning for Jamestown. First one to Enders, swung on and missed. Well, if there's one thing about Oiler pitching that we have seen a lot this year, or Oiler hitting, I should say, is that they have a knack for the comeback, and they've certainly had some fun rallies this year. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Enders. Arriola looks behind him, and time is called at the plate by Enders. Well, when we do see the other side of the 7th inning stretch, Oilers are going to have their 9, 10, and 1 batters come into the plate. Armanis Romero will start it. Got to get out of this inning first. Costello dancing around second. 1-1 from Arriola is low, ball 2. Two balls and a strike. Pitch from Arriola. That catches the bottom corner of the zone. Strike 2. So now just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Arriola trying to give the Oiler lineup a shot at it. And the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He freezes him. Enders didn't agree with it, but it is strike 3. Well, a very, Very, very rough inning for Oiler pitching. 5 runs surrendered and 2 pitchers used. It's time to stretch at Bradner Stadium, and the Oilers have got to now put their rally caps on. They trail Jamestown 8-5. Jamestown now out hitting the Oilers 9-8 in the game. It's been a long time since the Oilers were at the plate. Romero stands in, 0-1 pitch to him, skips in the dirt, ball 1. Romero gives a look, the 1-1 pitch. Romero swings and hits this one deep into left field, and that is going to be caught by Trommer for the first out of the inning. So Trommer retreating, able to make the catch, doesn't lose that in the lights, and Grant Fournier will bat. Fournier's had a good night batting in the 10 spot, singled and scored back in the 3rd. Drove in a run with a single in the bottom of the 4th, but was ultimately picked off at first. First pitch to him here is taken inside and low for a ball. Now looking at the scores from some of the other games across the PGCBL, again, a couple of games were postponed. That one hit on the ground. A chopper to second, throw to first is in time. Throw a little bit wide, but Fournier is set down for the second out. First 2 are out for the Oilers in the bottom of the 7th, and Derek Stout batting. Top of the 8th inning in Elmira, the Auburn Doubledays with a 12-4 lead over the Elmira Pioneers. Some high-scoring games going on across the league. First pitch to Derek Stout. Just misses, ball 1. Bottom of the 5th inning in Amsterdam. The Amsterdam Mohawks lead the Utica Blue Sox 13-6. 1-0 pitch to Stout is low, ball 2. Bottom of the 8th, the Socrates Stallions lead the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 11-7. 2-0 pitch to Stout. That one swung on and hit on a line and caught for out number 3. Oilers go down in order, bottom of the 7th. We're going to the 8th at Bradner Stadium. Oilers down 8-5. of the 8th inning here at Bradner Stadium. Joaquin Rodriguez Costa led off the 7th inning, and he will do the same in the 8th after a lengthy 5-run inning put up. First pitch to Rodriguez Costa, lifted in the air toward right center. Buffalo on the run. Fournier will settle under it and make the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch and 1 out. Well, Luis Arriola, give credit to him. He was able to make the best of what was pretty much an impossible situation for a pitcher to come into. Coming in with the bases loaded and nobody out and behind 2-0, did surrender a couple of runs, but ultimately the inning could have been a lot worse. First pitch here to Sean Spitaleri is outside for a ball. Spitaleri grounded out in the 3rd, doubled and scored in the 5th, walked and scored in the 7th. 1-0 pitch to him from Arriola is low in the dirt, ball 2. Of course, the control issues were really the primary killer for the Oilers in the 7th. Jackson Ross came in relief of Bryson Huar. 3 straight reached base, and he fell behind 2-0 on Fetchik, which prompted Arriola to come into the game. Now Arriola is behind 3-0. The 3-0 from Arriola. That catches the zone for a strike. So Arriola gives a look in. The 3-1 pitch on its way. That catches the zone, strike 2. Back-to-back strikes. From 3-0 to 3-2. Arriola trying to complete the in-at-bat comeback from behind 3-0, now catching up to 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch to Spitaleri. Inside, ball 4, a 1-out walk. Can't afford too many of those if the Oilers want a chance to get themselves back into this game. It is the 10-spot batter, C.J. Dugan, coming to the plate. Dugan walked in the 3rd, drove in a run with an RBI ground out in the 5th, singled and scored last inning. That was a bunt single last inning. He takes the first pitch for a strike here. They'll check on the runner at first, and the throw gets away. And heading to second is Spitaleri. That's the risk you run with the pickoff attempts. And a throwing error by Luis Arriola, the second committed by the Oilers tonight. That's, again, the risk you run with the pickoff throws. And now the runner in scoring position as the 0-1 pitch is lifted foul down the left field line. Dugan behind 0-2. Arriola trying to put up a 0 in this inning. Jamestown has scored in every inning since the 3rd after Daniel Lewis put up zeros in the first 3 innings. 0-2 pitch swung on and chopped foul. Jamestown scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and then 5 in the 7th. Oilers scored 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and have not scored since. Arriola gives a look behind him. And the 0-2 pitch to C.J. Dugan, way up high. A great catch by Brady Smith to make sure that didn't go back to the backstop, though. Arriola look behind him. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Foul tip, and Brady Smith holds on to it. Arriola picks up the strikeout for a big out number 2. Second strikeout for Luis Arriola. And the second out of the inning, leadoff man Nate Muncy comes to the plate. Arriola gives a look behind him. First pitch to Muncy is hit on the ground. Christo Hunsaker's got that, and he will win the race to the bag for out number 3. So a one-out walk and a throwing error ultimately do not come back to hurt the Oilers. Lineup's got to get it rolling, though. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Oilers trailing 8-5. Two, 3, and 4 hitters coming to the plate for Olean. Ryan Fleming and Adrian Willard. Oilers down 8-5, trying to stage a late game rally. Of course, they've done that a few times this year. Made it a bit more interesting against Jamestown on Tuesday after trailing 7-1. Got a few runs on the board, ultimately fell 8-4. First one to Bates is a called strike. Oh, 1 pitch to Bates. That one's high. Again, remember the game last week, or a week and a half ago, maybe probably 2 weeks ago now, against the Auburn Doubledays when the Oilers trailed 10-1 going into the 9th inning, scored 6 runs, and brought the tying run to the plate before ultimately falling 10-7. Just showing the effort that the team has and, the ability in this Oiler lineup. They have a very good hitting lineup and one of the best offenses in the PGCBL. 1-2 to Bates. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Thomas Bates is set down on strikes, only the second time he's been retired in the game. So the leadoff man is set down, and that brings up the EH, Brian Fleming. Fleming drove in a run with a triple back in the first, lined out in the third, grounded out in the fifth. 1 for 3. First pitch to Fleming here is a called strike on the inside corner. Nobody on, 1 out. Oilers have got to see if they can string together some base runners here, string together some hits perhaps. The 0-1 pitch outside. Another left-hander due up next, Aiden Willard. 1-1 pitch is a called strike. Fleming laid off of that one and just caught the outside corner. Behind 1 and 2 has to be careful. And the 1-2 pitch to Fleming. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Joseph Santos in the bottom of the 8th, and 2 are down. So the DH, Aiden Willard, will come to the plate. Willard struck out in the first, walked in the third, struck out again in the 5th. First pitch to Aiden Willard is a called strike. A 1 pitch to Willard is low, ball 1. Oilers being out hit 9-8 in the game. 8 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Jamestown. 5 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for Olean. 1-1 pitch to Willard. Got out in front of it, swung and missed. Santos in command in this home half of the 8th inning. And the 1-2 pitch to Willard. Just inside. A gutsy take by Aiden, and it works out for him. Ball 2. Cooper Tarley hoping that Willard can find his way on. 2-2 pitch. That one swung on and hit in the air toward left center. That is down. That's going to be extra bases for Aiden Willard. It rolls all the way to the base of the wall and is bobbled out in center. Willard's going to head for third, and the throw is not going to be in time. It's a 2-out triple for Aiden Willard, and he's on base for the second time. 2 outs and 2 strikes, and Willard comes away with a 3-bagger. The second triple of the game for the Oilers, and Cooper Tarley coming to the plate trying to bring him home and make this thing more interesting. Tarley has been on base all 3 times, drove in a run with an infield single back in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, and singled in the 6th. First pitch to him from Santos is a called strike. Tarley takes the first pitch. Santos gives a look at Heath Fetchick. The 0-1 to Tarley, up high. Willard standing with both feet in foul territory off the third base bag. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tarley. The pitch from Santos. Strike 2. The last time the Oilers had 2 strikes and 2 outs was, of course, just moments ago. Aiden Willard with a triple. Tarley certainly has the wheels to turn an extra base hit into a triple. The 1-2 pitch to him. That's inside. That goes back to the backstop. Willard's going to come to the plate. He's going to score, and it's a 2-run ball game. Aiden Willard comes home to score on the wild pitch. And the Oilers close the gap back to 2. So Willard getting to third base on the extra base hit pays off. He'll score a run. It's 8-6. 2-2 to Cooper Tarley. And the pitch. Tarley swings and pops it up. That'll go out of play above the press box here. Two balls and 2 strikes. Santos tries to finish it off. Tarley trying to keep it going to get on with his speed. 2-2 pitch. Just misses low. Ball 3. That's a tough take, but it works out. We've seen that all season, some gutsy takes by Oiler hitters. A full count to Cooper Charlie. And the pitch from Santos, a swing, and that one lifted in the air toward deep right, but that will stay in the ballpark and be caught by Nate Muncy for out number 3. Oilers do get a run home thanks to the triple by Aiden Willard. He scores on the wild pitch. We're going to the 9th inning. Oilers get a run. They still trail Jamestown 8-6. To the 9th inning we go. Aiden Coburn is the man on the mound for the Oilers, and he throws a first pitch strike to James Dixon. Or rather, Heath Fetchick, the catcher, the man at the plate. 0-1, big swing and a miss. So Coburn getting himself ahead on Fetchick. 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming to the plate for Jamestown. 0-2 pitch, skipped in the dirt. One ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Coburn way inside, nearly hits Heath Fetchick. Coburn able to find the zone on the first 2 pitches. Missed badly with the last 2. 2-2 pitch. Inside. So the count going full. Coburn has missed with 3 straight after getting ahead of Fetchick 0-2. So Coburn's got to be careful. The 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung on and popped up in foul territory. Will this stay playable? It will, and it'll be caught by Brady Smith for out number 1. Brady Smith making a nice over-the-shoulder grab for the first out of the night. So the shortstop, James Dixon, coming to the plate. Dixon singled in the first, flew out in the fourth, singled and scored in the sixth, flew out in the seventh. Nobody on, 1 out. Coburn into the windup and throws a first pitch strike. Aiden again alternates between third base and on the mound. Coburn has pitched to a 9.45 ERA, but opponents have batted just 2.14 off of him. 0-1 pitch is outside, ball 1, outside and low. Coburn 6 2/3 innings of work. This is his 6th pitching appearance of the season. 1-1 pitch.
See, and that's why I like the drum, because there's just one bone in the middle. And you just kind of eat around it. That's it. Where, like, I like flats as well, but
2 balls and a strike. The pitch from Coburn swung on and lifted high in the air toward left, right by the foul line, and making the grab is Cooper Tarley for out number 2. So the first 2 set down. First 2 set down in the inning. As Don Costello comes to the plate. Coburn into the windup, and the first pitch to Costello is a strike called. Coburn ahead 0-1. The pitch, Costello swings and sends this in the air to center. That's going to get down for a 2-out single. So the inning continues with the 10th hit of the game for the Tarp Skunks. Costello keeps it going. And Anthony Trommer coming to the plate. He has had a very productive night at the dish. Trommer singled in the second, walked in the fourth, reached on an error in the sixth, then drove in a run with a sac fly in the seventh. First pitch here from Coburn is a strike. Aiden's done a nice job of getting out ahead of opposing batters. Trying to finish off this 9th inning and give the Oiler batters a shot. 0-1 pitch, and Coburn balks and sends Don Costello to second. Well, that's not what you want in the 9th inning. Certainly not when you're down by a couple of runs. That's not something you see get called very often, but ultimately that was the correct call. 0-1 pitch, low, ball 1. A ball and a strike. Coburn takes a look at the runner behind him. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. That one swung on and sent foul. Still 1-2. Oilers down 2. Coburn trying to keep it at a 2-run deficit and give the Olean batters a shot to come back in this one. Coburn gives a look behind him. 1-2 pitch, swung on and hit on the ground to third. Derek Stout has it. Throw to first in time for out number 3. A base hit does not come home to score. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Oilers down by 2, trying to see if they can rally on a Thursday night at Bradner Stadium. All right, here we go. Bottom of the ninth, Oilers down by 2, and they've got a tough test ahead of them. It's Chase Barron coming into the game on the mound. Barron making his 9th appearance. He is the primary closer. He's got 2 saves, trying to make that 3 tonight. A 1-0 win-loss record and a .82 ERA. He has been fantastic. First pitch to Christo Hunsaker is high for a ball. Oilers will send Hunsaker, Brady Smith, and Matt Buffalo to the plate. They trail by 2. Certainly well within striking distance, but they'd have to get to Barron, which is no easy task. 1-0 pitch misses low. Barron settles in. 2-0 pitch to Hunsaker. That misses low and away, 3-0. If Hunsaker can get himself on base, the Oilers would bring the tying run to the plate. Three and 0 to the Oiler first baseman, Christo Hunsaker. The 3-0 pitch, that catches the bottom of the zone for a strike. Oilers are going to their bench after this. Logan Coslin will bat for Brady Smith. Three and 1 to Hunsaker. The pitch from Barron. Ball 4, low and away, and the tying run is coming to the plate in the bottom of the ninth. It's a walk to Hunsaker. He's on base for the second time. And pinch hitting is the third baseman, Logan Coslin. Well, Coslin has had some struggles at the plate. He's batting just .160, driven in 4 runs, but all would be forgiven if he could find a way to etch his name in this one. Christo Hunsaker does have 4 stolen bases, but he'll be very careful. First pitch to Coslin. Low and away, ball 1. Braden Rader on deck. He'll bat for Matt Buffalo. 1-0 to Logan Coslin. Hunsaker inching more towards that second base bag. 1-0 pitch to Coslin. Low, ball 2. So some control struggles for Chase Barron, and the catcher Fetchick comes out to chat with him. This is not the norm. Braden Rader will bat for Matt Buffalo in the 8th spot. Logan Coslin batting for Brady Smith now. Coslin from Lutz, Florida, a sophomore going into his sophomore year at Mercyhurst. Hunsaker inching towards the bag, and they check on him at first. He's able to get back in safely. Close play. Oilers have already had one picked off at first base tonight. That was Grant Fournier earlier in the game, back in the 4th inning. The 2-0 pitch to Coslin. That misses high and inside, 3-0. Barron is really struggling to find the strike zone. And that is not something that the Tarp Skunks are used to seeing at all. The 3-0 pitch to Coslin. Strike called. So on the year, the walk to Christo Hunsaker was just the 5th issued by Chase Barron all year, and he struck out 22. 3-1 to Coslin. Low, ball 4, and the Oilers are going to bring the winning run to the plate. Tying run is aboard. Back-to-back walks, and Braden Rader coming in. Rader could tie the game with an extra base hit. Could win it with a shot over the outfield fence. So Barron kind of walking around trying to take some deep breaths, trying to calm himself down. as the first two have walked. Again, coming into this game, Chase Barron had struck out 22 and walked out 4. So half of his season total for walks he's issued just in the last couple of minutes. First pitch to Braden Rader. He squares to bunt. Pitch is high. Ball 1. Rader squaring the bunt. Infield will be in. Christo Hunsaker at second. Logan Coslin at first. Rader again squaring a bunt. 1-0 pitch. Rader pops up the bunt, but it goes foul. Fortunate that it goes foul. One ball and one strike. Rader trying to advance the runners to a point where potentially a base hit could tie the game. 1-1 pitch. Rader squares a bunt, drops it down. It rolls. Slow roller to the mound. He's going to reach. Braden Rader's going to reach, and the winning run is on base. That one just rolls. That's a tough roller, slow roller. I think you might have to give that one an infield hit for Rader. So it's an infield hit. The bases are loaded with nobody out. How the tables have turned. This is how it started for Jamestown in the 7th inning. And now Armanis Romero coming to the plate. An infield hit for Braden Rader. A perfectly dropped bunt that just rolled past Chase Barron. Not able to make the play. Oilers have all 3 ducks on the pond and the winning run at first base. That's Braden Rader. Armanis Romero at the plate. He is 0 for 3 tonight. A base hit likely ties the game. First pitch to him from Barron. High, ball 1. You hit one in the gap, and Braden Rader's probably going to be coming home to win the game. Infield playing in. 1-0 pitch. Romero swings and hits this one on the ground. That's a roller to second. Only play is at first. It's a sacrifice ground out. A run will score. It's a 1-run ball game. So Hunsaker comes home to score. Armanis Romero picking up his 8th RBI of the season. And a big-time run driven in. Runners at second and third, and now you're in a position for Grant Fournier where a base hit probably wins the game. First pitch to Fournier, swing and a miss. Logan Coslin at third, Braden Rader at second. Fly ball ties the game. Base hit probably wins it. 0-1 pitch, swung on and fouled back. Got to be careful on an 0-2 pitch. Fournier settling in. 0-2. The pitch from Barron. Up high, ball 1. Barron settling back in. 1-2 to Fournier. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He froze him. Fournier thought for sure that was outside. Instead, it's a strikeout. It's out number 2. Oilers are down to their final out. Well, Derek Stout's coming to the plate. And again, if you're the Oilers, there's no one you would rather have at the plate than this guy right here. Derek Stout has driven in 24 runs this season. That leads the team. They're going to intentionally walk him. No surprise there. So Stout gets the intentional pass. Bases are loaded, and the hometown hero, Thomas Bates, with the chance to walk it off. Bates trying to walk it off for his hometown team. Bates drove in two with a single back in the third. Another one of those, and this game's all over. First one to Bates. Swing and a miss. Oh and 1 to the second baseman, Bates. He waits for the pitch. The 0-1 from Barron. Swing and a foul, and Bates is down to his last strike. If there was ever a chance to channel your inner David Freese, it's right now for Thomas Bates. 0-2. Bates down to his final strike with the bases loaded. Down by 1. Barron looks over at third. The 0-2 pitch to Bates. Swing and a miss, and the Tarp Skunks win it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Barron, and the Tarp Skunks survive and win this game 8-7. An absolute thriller at Bradner Stadium. Bates strikes out, and the Oilers fall 8-7. Jamestown improving to 17-7 overall. Oilers drop to 10-13. These two teams will see each other again 7 o'clock tomorrow night in Jamestown. Oilers have a busy weekend here at Bradner Stadium with the annual 4th of July game right here at Bradner Stadium on Saturday against the Dansville Gliders of the NYCBL. A doubleheader here against the Newark Pilots on Sunday. Well, a thriller of a game. Thanks for sticking with us, and from all of us here at Bradner Stadium, we thank you for tuning into this broadcast of Olean Oilers baseball. A thriller, the Jamestown Tarp Skunks hold on for an 8-7 win, and until next time, this is Matt Volz saying good night and go Oilers.